Snake Cinema Podcast stepping in. Your one-stop review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibes, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around.
What it do, what it do. Welcome to another great episode of Snake Cinema Podcast. I'm your host, Prince Elias, and today is gonna be a dope day. So I will disclaimer, if you haven't noticed, this episode is pre recorded. Yes, this episode had to be pre recorded because as of right now, as you're watching this on Saturday morning, I am in Atlanta picking up my nephew so he can spend Thanksgiving with the family. So, unfortunately, I can't do this live. However, I'm making sure my sister's driving this morning so I could be in the chats with y'all. So, in the comments, the premiere chat. So, let's continue to have great conversations. Comment, like, subscribe. If you're a part of the replay gang, hashtag replay gang. I love y'all. Make sure y'all also comment, hit that like button, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'm pretty sure the usual suspects are in the premiere chat right now, like Big Double L and Randall, like the sponsors ENT, Orlando and Terrell, like Bosa, Project Pat, the whole clique, Will, Post Malone. I love y'all. Mitzi, Nikki, Irresistibles. I know y'all in the chats right now talking. So good morning. I appreciate y'all and thank y'all for watching this first pre-recorded episode of Snake Cinema Podcast. But I'll be back next week live in living color. But anywho, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and get my notes. First of all, this podcast, and as well as my other podcast, the Shenanigans podcast, that happens every Thursday, is brought to you by ENT, Orlando and Terrell. Great couple, great dynamic duo. They have some amazing animals. They work with leopard geckos, they work with short tails, all three species of the short tails, the bloods, the Borneo, and the Sumatrans. And they have three, not one, not two, but three black throat monitors that hopefully they'll be breeding, and then I'll get my own monitor. Yeah, that's why I'm waiting. I'm waiting on that. Rhino iguana was my dream lizard, but after watching them take care of their lizards, man, I think I need at least one black throat monitor in my life. But we'll see. But anyways, thank you, Orlando and TJ. Thank y'all for sponsoring the channel and sponsoring both this podcast and the Shenanigans podcast on Thursday. So episode 105. Yes, we are at episode 105 of Snake Cinema Podcast, and we have two things I want to discuss. I have a topic that I want to discuss, and then I have a review. But the review is only the first three episodes of the season because the season is still going on. I did watch episode four, and it's getting crazy and crazy. But um I'm only going to review for this episode the first three episodes, and I want y'all to watch it. So don't worry, I won't spoil most of it. I will spoil a little bit of the first episode, but I will let y'all know beforehand so you can dip out before I get to that part. But anyways, and then I also want to talk about a topic that's been heavy on my heart, and that is Sir Ryan Murphy. He is a writer, producer, TV show executives. He's made a lot of shows that you've all at least heard of. You might not know or love, but you at least heard of them. Um, and I want to talk about, can he make a comeback? And the reason why I want to talk about, is it possible for him to make a comeback, is because right now he dropped another television show with Hulu, I believe, and it's getting ripped to shreds. We'll talk about that more when I get to that section, but in the midst of that show getting ripped to shreds, he has been he announced the 13th and final season of American Horror Story and who is coming back. And so I just need to talk about, get this off my chest as someone who was a huge Ryan Murphy fan, and then over the years he started to become like Adam Sandler and Tyler Perry, and just giving us junk and expecting us to just take it, like just giving us trash and expecting us to take it, when we know that they have potential to make great things, great content. So I do want to touch on that topic as well. But first, let's do news of the week. News of the week is y'all remember that topic I talked about last week with Nicki Minaj and how I was giving her grace for some tweets she was doing? Well, as I'm recording this, as I'm pre-recording this, yesterday she decided to go to the UN and speak on behalf of our unfortunate president and talk about, persecution of Christians. Now, I'm not going to go into a rant because I think I ranted enough last episode, but I will say, after seeing those clips circulate online of her trying to speak for the UN, speak at the UN for our unfortunate president. Yeah, I deleted her off a lot of my Spotify playlists. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, and I deleted a lot of music off my MP3 player. Um, I just cannot support her for any longer. Like, she was already treading thin ice with me because she didn't go full Kanye, but she was getting there, and now I feel like she has gone full Kanye. So just like I had to, once an artist becomes so egregious to where I cannot separate the artist from the art, I cannot separate the two. I just disengage altogether 100%, and that's what I'm doing. So unfortunately, I have to treat her like I treat Kanye and pretend like they don't even exist anymore, at least in my Spotify and my MP3 players. As classic as a lot of their music is dead to me. So, anyways, another artist to grief. I've been grieving a lot of artists, and it ain't just music. Actors, producers, directors, authors. Again, fuck you, J.K. Rowling for life. But it's just part of the game, because we're dealing with human beings, and human beings have the potential. Every human being, including myself, we have the potential to be fucked up people. And so when they prove themselves to be fucked up people, I can no longer support. But enough of that. And also, news of the week, Disney, in the midst of them being boycotted by a lot of their fans and being called out by a lot of their fans ever since the whole Jimmy Kimmel situation, they thought that bringing him back was going to bring, you know eyeballs, money, and their fans back, and it has not. They've been suffering, and they've been trying to drop so much content. Like, they announced that they created, I don't know if it's a TV show or a game, but they announced that they are doing an anime based off Disney villains. Now, y'all know that I have a lot of salt. I have the Disney villains are my jam. I think it's a game that's within Disney Plus app. I'm not sure, but the Disney villains are turned to actual legit anime characters, and it's called Wicked Wonderland or something like that. And then they dropped this trailer for the Moana live action remake. Now, Moana came out. The sequel just came out last year. The sequel to the cartoon Moana. The original Moana is not that long ago, not that old ago. And now we're having the live action. They're desperate. They're desperate. But I think that the live action remake is going to fail. It's going to flop. It's going to be trash because it's not needed. We don't need it. We have the cartoon, you dipshits. God, I hate capitalism. When companies put capitalism over the content, over the art, when they just say to hell with storytelling, to hell with original properties, to hell with, you know, just making good things. And let's just keep shoving out shit that don't need. Nobody asked for a Moana live action remake. Nobody asked for that shit. Y'all barely made y'all money back with the Stitch remake. Y'all barely by hair made y'all money back. It's gonna fail. It's gonna be trash, and I'm not gonna go see it. I'm still with this boycott. I'm still Captain Jack Sparrow whenever I want to watch some of my old Disney stuff. And also I still got physical media. I still got DVDs and um VHSs and stuff. So I don't need Disney Plus, and I don't need to go to the movie theaters to watch any Disney content. So I'm continuing my boycott. Like fuck y'all. Like, but that trailer dropped, the Moana trailer dropped, and it's unnecessary. It's gonna fail. We just saw the sequel to Moana 2 last year or year before last. I don't know. Like, it's pointless and it's stupid. I don't care that y'all brought The Rock to be Maui in real. It's stupid. But I digress. So that's my only news of the week. Nicki Minaj trying to be a UN ambassador or whatever, speaking on Christian persecution bullshit, and Disney is desperate trying to win their fans back. Which good luck with that, baby. Anyways, so let's get to the real content. Let's talk about I want to talk about Ryan Murphy first before I get into Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry is going to be the chunk of the podcast today, the episode today, because I'm reviewing 3 episodes. So let's talk about Mr. Ryan Murphy. So for those who don't know who Ryan Murphy is, because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all don't watch TV that much, or y'all live in the real world, or y'all just not in the Ryan Murphy scope, because he is a very niche creator. I've been watching his content since high school, so I know everything about most of his creation. I don't know all his creation, but I know most of his content. But he's a writer, producer, director. He does a more TV show. He does TV shows basically. And so but I've noticed that over the years, like over the past 5, 6, maybe since the pandemic, maybe a little bit, no, maybe 2018, 2019, before the pandemic, he has been his the content, the quality of his work has become worse and worse by now, and to the point to where he just premiered a new TV show starring Kim Kardashian. That was the first mistake because we all know the heifer cannot act. She cannot act. The best acting she can do is her family's reality TV show. She's not good at it. She's not talented. I don't know why they keep putting her and stuff, but I digress. But he tried to make this new TV show about some female lawyers called All's Fair. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, not just the critics, not just the professional Rotten Tomato critics, no, even the fans, even Ryan Murphy fans and normal everyday Joe Schmoes have been ripping this show to shreds. And the fact that he got so many people in this, take away Kim Kardashian because we know she can't act, but he got some people who can act. He has Sarah Paulson, he has Glenn Close, he has Tiana Taylor, he has Niecy Nash, he has a bunch of great, talented female actresses in Hollywood, legendary in this show. And even they, with all of their great talent, cannot save this show because of the writing. That's why I call him the new Tyler Perry or the new Adam Sandler, because actors can only do so much. They can't save a project. They can't save a movie, they can't save a TV show, they can only do so much with acting when it's bad, shitty writing. And so he has been ripped to shreds for all his fair. But his stuff has been low in quality for a long time. Let me tell you his resume so far. So, oh my gosh, he's 60 years old. Dang. He don't look 60, but but still. Let's see. So, Ryan Murphy, he has a long catalog, but this is what I first was introduced to Ryan Murphy back when Glee, the TV show Glee, came out with all the high school kids singing, and everybody knew how big of a phenomenon that was back in the day. And back in the day, early 2000s, because Glee was, yeah, the Glee show was, yeah, early 2000s and stuff. So, um, I that's why I was introduced to him, but that isn't the only stuff he's came out with. Ryan Murphy has done um American Horror Story, American Crime Story. Right now currently for Netflix he's doing the Monster series. So he did Ed Gein and what's homeboy the the brothers that killed their parents. He did that. He did what's that other serial killer? He's done a lot of shows. He's done Pose. Pose is one of his best work. He's done Pose. Um, he's done Scream Queens. I forgot about Scream Queens. That was pretty dope. It was short lived. I think it was on like one season or maybe two seasons, because it says right here from 2015 to 2016. So I would say probably two seasons. 911. Now some people still love 911. Some people still rock with that show. The 911 show and its spin-offs like 911 Lone Star in Nashville and Texas or whatever. But that's still people are still loving that show. I don't hear people crapping on the 911 series, but he's brought us that. Um he's brought us a lot. The OJ Simpson American Crime Story TV show on Netflix, he brought us that. So he has a long extensive resume over the years, and then he has a bunch of stuff that I've never even heard of. But that's probably before the Glee era. Or in between. But he has made a lot of Nip Tuck. Yeah, Nip Tuck, the show about the people who kept and the doctors who kept doing plastic surgeries. I forgot about that shit. That was back in because it was in the early 2000s. It was from 20. Oh, that show ran for a minute. Nip Tuck ran from 2003 all the way to 2010. So again, as you can see, Ryan Murphy is not a newbie. He's not a newbie, but he has been given as of late some shitty TV shows. Um and even some of the classic shows that people love him for, like American Horror Story, as the seasons come along, they are getting worse and worse by the minute. Like devastatingly worse as the seasons go on. And so I will say, after I haven't watched all this fair, I did watch some clips that's been circulating online because people have been reposting certain scenes and certain storylines, and even the dialogue. Some of the dialogue is so cringe. Some of the dialogue is so cringe and so like girl power, yay, feminism, take it to the man. But it's so corny because you're hearing legendary actors like Glenn Close and Sarah Paulson saying shit that they probably would never say in real life. And so it's just so unbelievable. And again, you got Kim Kardashian's deadpan, can't emote, can't act because all the plastic surgery and shit. She fucked up her face, so she can't show any emotion. And then the storylines, the quote unquote plot twist, well, the lack of storylines. The thing is the lack of storylines, because it's supposed to be a show about lawyers, and in every episode you get, from what I hear from critics, you get the backstories of each individual main character, as well as a case that they're working on or supposed to be working on. And just based off the dialogues, the clips I've seen, the dialogues, the talking and stuff, it's like, oh, yikes. Like, no lawyer would be saying this shit. No, Lord, like this. And some of the stuff, like, oh, we can get this man, we can get your husband off on this particular thing. In this case, we can get you half his money in this divorce because of XYZ. And I'm like, y'all taking a lot of liberties. Y'all taking a lot of creative liberties, because I don't think that's how the law works, honeybee. I'm no lawyer now. I never attempted a bar exam, but I watched plenty of documentaries and true crime shows to where, and I know some people who've been to court. I don't think that's how divorce works, how what y'all are portraying on this show, but I digress. But anyways, I say all that. Can he make a comeback? That's the $1 million question. Cause a lot of his stuff, he's had some good stuff. Shows like Feud. I love Feud. It came out 2017. He has some good stuff. He has the potential, just like Tyler Perry and Adam Sandler. They have potential. They have shown us great quality work. They have shown us great work, but it's gotten to a point that when you look at their IMDb pages and their resumes and their discographies, you're starting to see more crap than you start to see gold. And I feel like Ryan Murphy is just he's if he's not getting there, he is there. To where if I'm look like right now, I am looking on my iPad his discography, and I'm seeing more misses than hits, not including the ones that I never saw because I did not never knew he did that. Never saw these shows. But it's just it's gotten to the point to where he's not even writing good plots, good storytellings. He can hire the best actors and actresses, like that whole Ed Gein story. I love the actor who's playing Ed Gein. He gets star talent, but like I said a few minutes ago, the actors can only do so much. If you don't have good writing, if you don't have good dialogue, there's only so much acting they could do to save that. And so I'm scared. I'm excited about season 13 and the new announcement that just happened, but I'm scared that it's going to flop. So the reason I think he can make a comeback with American Horror Story's final season, season 13. He said after season 13 is done, he's ended it. And it should. It should have been done after season 10, to be honest. But let's go through I'm gonna click on American Horror Story first. So American Horror Story has gone through 13 it's about to be 13 seasons. Um and I guess they're including like the one-off spin-off whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to be honest with y'all, I didn't even watch the last two seasons. Seasons 12 and season I haven't even watched it cuz the writing and shit has gotten that bad. I stopped at Apocalypse. Apocalypse was the very last one. So the first original American Horror Story, I'll never forget watching the premiere with my sisters. We watched it. We did not know. We went in blind, had no idea. We watched it the night it premiered, it aired. We saw some trailers. We said that looks good. That looks creepy. A horror show. Let's watch it. Woo! Episode one got us hooked. By the end of me and my sisters was down there watching TV. We was like, what the fuck? By the end of the episode one, American Horror Story season one, which is known as let's see, American Horror Story. I don't even think that had the official it does something house. But the very first season was the best. It was the best. But then he hit it with the second best with Asylum. Asylum. Now some people will argue with me that Asylum is better than season one, season two. And what let me tell you about American Horror Story. In the beginning, everything was an anthology. Every season was an anthology. Every season was different stories, different characters. But then, as popular as certain characters got, as popular as certain actors got and storylines got, then he started to merge them into like an AHS universe, multi-universe or whatever, to where certain seasons started to connect based off of certain characters. And so at first, in the beginning, with the first four seasons, which were his best work, it was just an anthology. Season one had nothing to do with season two. Season three had nothing to do with season four. You could watch all four of those seasons and nothing was connected. It was brand new stories, brand new characters. Yes, he did recycle a lot of the same actors, but they were playing different roles and different storylines. It and so it was going good. Like it was going amazing. Like I said, season one knocked it out the park. Season two with Asylum killed it. Great, amazing quality television. Season three, now this another one some people can argue is good too. With Coven, with the witches in this based in New Orleans. Like, and he was sampling, he had his own original characters, but he was throwing in some historical characters too. And so and then he brought in Angela Bassett and other notable actors and actresses, and it was just it just kept getting better. It was like Ryan Murphy could do no wrong. And then with Freak Show, amazing, loved it. That was season 4. Then Hotel, where he brought Lady Gaga in as one of the main villains, amazing. Hotel. Then he decided to do the story on Roanoke. Now, Roanoke, I know the story of Roanoke, the historical story of Roanoke, about the whole colony that just disappeared off the face of the earth. So I was excited. I had high expectations because he didn't gave me before that. He didn't gave me 5 amazing, perfect seasons. One like Hotel, Murder House. That's season 1. Murder House. The name is Murder House. I could not get. I just knew it had house in it. Murder House, Asylum, Coven, Freak Show, Hotel. You gave me 5 perfect seasons. And then Roanoke, I had high expectations because you gave me 5 perfect seasons. But then it slipped. It did slip. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't trash, but it wasn't what I expected. I had such high expectations for Roanoke, and I was by the end of it, by the twist, by the first twist, because he gave us 2 twists. By the first twist, I was just like, I'm not really like I'm still on board Ryan Murphy, but I'm not really feeling this season. And then we had Cult, and Cult is when he started to woven's previous seasons together, connecting with different characters, different storylines, where we start to see that they're in the same universe or there's a multiverse or whatever, because certain characters affected other characters in the seasons. Um, and that was good. He kind of won me back with Colt after Roanoke. And then Apocalypse was like, I did enjoy the villain of Apocalypse. I did enjoy the storyline of Apocalypse. But again, it just wasn't as strong as the first 5. And then he went to 1984. Now y'all know I'm an 80s baby. I love 80s horror films. I love all that stuff. But that looking back and rewatching it, at first I was a lot. If we go back to old Snake Cinema podcast episodes, not even a podcast, back when I was just doing Snake Cinema reviews videos, if we go back to past reviews, I gave him a lot of grace with 1984. I gave him a lot of grace, but I did rewatch it a while back, sometime last year. I've craved American Horror Story, and I did like a marathon, and I went back and watched 1984, and rewatching it for a second time, I was not pleased. I was so disappointed. And then all the other shit after that, I didn't even watch anything after that. I think I watched 2 episodes of Double Feature, and maybe I didn't. And like I said, American Horror Story 10, season 10, 11, and 12, I skipped those because I was just tired of him getting worse and worse and worse. So unfortunately, like yeah, I think the last one was called Delicate. Did not watch it. One, because it was starring Kim Kardashian. I'm like, why are y'all making her the main character? She cannot act. But it was and it was other seasons. I just skipped all those. So I would say the first 5 seasons are his perfect best works. If you haven't seen any of the American Horror Story shows, I would recommend watching the first 5 seasons. Again, they're anthologies. So before you get to Cult and Apocalypse, they were not connected. Before you get to the latter series, they were not connected anyway. It was supposed to be an anthology. Every season is different stories, different characters. So you can watch any of those first 5 and be content and just stop at that. Don't even try. Don't even care about the universe, the multiverse, characters connecting. One character is the reason why all the other seasons happen. You ain't got to worry about none of that. The lore is not worth it. Because the more you keep watching the other seasons, the angrier you're going to get, the more disappointed you're going to get, like me. So just do the first 5 seasons. That's Murder House, That's Asylum. That is Freak Show. That is um Murder House, Freak Show, Asylum, Coven, The Witches, Coven, and Hotel. You can stop at those and just be content. That's my only recommendation. And like I said, the fans of American Horror Story, we always argue which seasons of those five are the best. Some people would say Asylum is the best. Some people would say um, Coven is the best. Some people say Murder House, which is the first season, was the best. All of them are perfect in my eyes, in my opinion. So, but as the time goes on, you can just ignore the rest of those seasons and act like they don't even exist. But with that being said, the reason why I'm so excited about the news of the final season, season 13, is because he is he announced that he is bringing back all of the OG actors, the OG cast from those perfect, amazing first five seasons. All the characters. Well, I don't know character wise. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but but the actors that are playing, that are acting, and he's adding some new stars to the fold. And this time, thank God, it ain't Kim Kardashian. Uh, he is bringing back all the OGs of the first five seasons that we know and love. So he's bringing back the OG, the first villain of American Horror Story, the first best, amazing, bad characters you love to hate. But somehow he gonna make it to where you sympathize with them a little bit. And that is the legendary Jessica Lange. Jessica Lange is the best thing. Besides Evan Peters, Jessica Lange is the best thing that ever happened to American Horror Story. She was the OG from season one. She lasted, I think, at least 7 seasons before she decided to step back because she was like, y'all, I'm tired. I done worked my ass off. I done gave y'all all I could give y'all. I'm over it. She kind of retired herself from American Horror Story. Honestly, I don't think I've seen her act in anything after that. So she took a break, a hiatus, but he brought her back. Then of course we got the OG who's been there since day one and is still continuing to show up in all these Ryan Murphy projects, and that's our girl Sarah Paulson, legendary actress. She's the best thing. Every character they give her, whether she's an anti-hero, a hero, a side character, a sidekick, it don't matter. Sarah Paulson brings her A game with everything. And I think she's been in every season. I think she might have skipped one season out of all these seasons. She's been in everything. So Sarah Paulson's coming back. The guy, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that you just love, no matter even his most diabolical, crazy characters. And I think American Horror Story really fucked up his brain, his psyche, to where he had to step away and take a break because he was like, it's too much. It's too much. Now he did come back to work with Ryan Murphy with the Jeffrey Dahmer. That's what it was. Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. But he is coming back. Evan Peters, so excited, so happy because again, he's one of those OG actors who's been there since season one. And he's been the best. Every character, no matter which season, every character he plays, and sometimes he plays multiple characters in one season. He brings his shit. Y'all can't tell me Evan Peters ain't talented. Y'all can't tell me. Even though I wasn't crazy about the Jeffrey Dahmer story and how Ryan Murphy kind of written him as like a kind of like not a hero, but kind of like glamorizing a serial killer. I was not feeling that, but that's all had to do with Ryan Murphy's direction and writing. It had nothing to do with Evan Peters. Evan Peters acting A game. So I'm excited about that. Of course, we got the two legendary ladies that I love, and I love them together, especially in Coven. Oh my gosh, they were amazing in Coven. And that is Angela Bassett and Kathy Bates, Memphis legend. Kathy Bates from the Imp from my hometown. Legendary actresses coming back in the fold. Of course, we got Emma Roberts, Billy Lord, Gabrielle Sidibe, Leslie Grossman, all the OGs from Murder House to Coven to Asylum. They are coming back, and I'm so excited. And he added Ariana Grande to the fold. So Ariana Grande, as far as acting goes, I mean, she can sing too. She's an amazing singer, but I love her more on her acting. I can't wait to see her in Wicked Part 2. So I'm excited to see what character she's going to play in this, and how Ryan Murphy's going to utilize her. But I know she's going to bring her A game, especially with this whole stack of actors and actresses. It's going to be amazing. So I think Ryan Murphy can can end in American Horror Story with a nice send off, with an amazing, chef's kiss bow on the present. I just hope he got enough writers to help him out, because I will be so pissed and upset that he bring all of these the people we love, us American Horror Story fans. You bring back all the actors that we love from the best seasons of this series. If you fuck this up because of bad writing or bad dialogue, if you have Jessica Lange saying some shit like you done had Glenn Close saying in All's Fair, I'm gonna be pissed, Ryan Murphy, and you gonna be on my shit list just like Tyler Perry and just like Adam Sandler. I'm just gonna say, I don't care. I know you gave us Pose, amazing show. I love Pose. I know you gave us Glee. That's my whole damn childhood. Love Glee. But what are you doing for me lately? We ain't talking about the past. We ain't talking about years ago. What are you doing for me lately? And lately, your content has not been great. So, Ryan Murphy, I'm saying all that to say, don't fuck this up. Do not fuck up season 13, the final last season of American Horror Story. I'm going to be pissed. And whether I like it or love it, I will be on this podcast reviewing it. So y'all will either get praise from me or a big old rant. We just love my rants. Y'all gonna get a big old rant if he fucks this up. Cause how you gonna bring Jessica Lange, Kathy Bates, Angela Bassett, Evan Peters back and give us a shitty season? I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be very pissed. All right. So next, let's talk about some positive stuff. Some stuff I love. All right. It's Welcome to Derry. Now, y'all know I love me some Stephen King. I love coked out Stephen King. I love sober Stephen King. Stephen King is a legend in his own right. And one of my favorite series of his, both back in the day, the old school TV series, and the most recent remakes films with Bill Skarsgård, is the It series. I even love reading the book, minus that crazy scene that we don't talk about. We don't talk about that crazy scene with the kids. But I've even read the book. Love the book. Amazing. I always related, growing up reading Stephen King's novels, I always related to the underdogs. So I love the Losers Club. I always felt like as a kid reading that book that I was part of the Losers Club. Like, we going to get through this. We going to defeat this evil clown. And so I, I, I can't say no more. Well, anyways, they decided to make a prequel show based off of the most recent remakes with starring Bill Skarsgård. And like I told y'all, this is a TV show. I told y'all from the beginning, Bill Skarsgård is not going to be in every episode. He might show up toward the end of as Pennywise toward the end of the season, because Bill Skarsgård is a very busy man, and I'm pretty sure he has a busy budget. I'm pretty sure just to book him to get back in that costume to do Pennywise, it costs a lot of money. So I knew we was not gonna get Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise the whole season, but but how they utilize Pennywise, how they use Pennywise, and how they use Bill Skarsgård's essence, like the whole eye trick and things like that, and mannerisms, how he talk, even if it's Pennywise disguised as another human being, another played by another actor in disguise. It's amazing. So let's talk about the TV show on HBO Max. It Welcome to Derry. So this is now the director, he said his plan is right now for 3 seasons. That's his plan, is for 3 seasons. And he wants to each season to be a different time frame that the Pennywise it monster is out killing people. So right now, this one takes place I want to say in the 70s, and then or the fit no, not even the 70s. And then season 2, if they get renewed for a season 2, would be because Pennywise the dancing clown comes out of dormant. It's kind of like the Jeepers Creepers monster, where they go to sleep for a couple of years, every 20 something years, and then they wake up, they feed, they kill, they murder, and they go back to sleep. So Pennywise, I guess the Jeepers Creepers creator copied off Stephen King. He read this copy out there and was like, yeah, I'm gonna use that for my monster too. Where so each season, if we get all 3 seasons, are going to be from different decades, because there's a time where Pennywise goes to sleep for 23 or some years, then he wakes up, kill a bunch of kids, and then goes to sleep again. So this one, in the 60s. I said 70s, I wrong. In the 60s, in 1962. So, the premise of this season is that in 1962, a couple and their son moved to Derry, Maine, just as a young boy, another young boy disappears. With their arrival, very bad things happen in the town. And so it is starring Taylor Page, Jovan Apido, I hope I said his name right, or Apido, James Raymer, Stephen Ryder, Matilda Lawler, and a whole slew of people. Of course, Bill Skarsgård is going to make an appearance as Pennywise, the shape shifting clown. But again, I've been told y'all, the Skarsgård boys and their father are a big deal, and they cost a lot of money. So I think we're going to get Bill Skarsgård in episode 5. I think that's the rumors. He's going to show up eventually in episode 5, but I think it's only 6 episodes this season. I'm not sure. And we're already on episode 4 this week. So we'll see. But let's talk about episode 1. Now, minor spoilers. Minor spoilers. I'm not going to go into details, and I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to tell you no character names, but minor spoilers. Episode 1 pretty much lets you know that this is kind of like Game of Thrones. Not that way. Y'all know I like to make Game of Thrones jokes, but not that. Game of Thrones, when I say that, Game of Thrones, this show is kind of like Game of Thrones, because episode 1 lets you know, don't get attached to anybody. Do not get attached to any characters. You're going to spend a lot of time, like any beginning of any season of a TV show, you're going to spend a lot of time getting to know a lot of different characters, a lot of different people, different adults, because there's going to be a side storyline with some men in the army, because the army base is in Derry, Maine. There's an army base in Derry, Maine in the 60s. So you're going to get introduced to some soldiers. You're going to get introduced to some parents. You're going to get introduced to some bullies, some classmates, some teachers. You're going to get introduced to what's perceived the Losers Club, the original Losers Club, before the Losers Club, before the characters we know from the Stephen King novels. And so you're going to get introduced to a lot of children. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care if you're going to get an elaborate backstory on a lot of different people. Don't get attached. Don't get attached. When they Pennywise don't play. This monster, this entity don't play. And he don't play when it comes to murdering children. He don't care. So all I'm saying, I'm not spoiling who it is, what happens, how it happens, but I'm just saying, please don't get attached to any characters. Because you're going to get introduced to a lot of group of kids, a lot of different characters, a lot of different adults. Don't get attached. Don't. Just set your expectations. I'm expecting, we've only got 4 episodes in. I'm expecting everybody in this show to die. except one, except one. And I don't want to spoil it from y'all. If y'all know shows, like if y'all know other Stephen King novels and stories, because there is a character in this season, he's a main character in this season who is in other films, other Stephen King novels, other Stephen, that lets you know that this is all, there is a Stephen King universe. It's a younger version of a character that you know, because that character will show back up in a different Stephen King story, and I'm not spoiling it for you, but there is a character, a young character in this one, and when you hear his name, it's gonna click to you. He gonna show up as an adult, as an older man, in another story. So he's the only one I know gonna survive. Off rip, I already know. There's no way they can kill him in this show and he still be connected in the Stephen King universe. There's just no way. But everybody else, I'm expecting to die. Parents, bullies, teachers, heroes, anti heroes, misunderstood. You know, Pennywise don't play. Pennywise don't play. And episode one lets you know. Just like Game of Thrones lets you know. We Game of Thrones see episode one, we spent so much time with the Stark family and Ned Stark. We thought Ned Stark, if you ain't, if for those who didn't watch the book like me. Now I know those who read the book, I not watched the book, read the book, they already knew what was gonna happen. But people like me who watched Game of Thrones for the first time, season one, episode one, we following this family and we like, oh, they we know they the main characters, they the main family, because we done followed them this whole time, only for Ned Stark to don't get attached. Don't get attached. That's all I'm saying. Do not get attached. So episode one started off with a bang. A lot of seasons, a lot of first episodes of seasons of TV shows can either make or break. It can either get you in, hook you, line and sinker the first go, or you might not, it might be boring because they're trying to introduce characters and explain expositions and introduce the town and stuff like that. A lot of TV shows, the first episode can either make or break a person to not proceed on. You gonna watch the episode one of Welcome to Derry and you're gonna be like, I can't wait to go watch episode two. And that's what happened. Like I immediately went and found episode two as soon as I watched episode one. And man, episode two was kind of like a filler episode as far as, still introducing characters, still introducing um the town and setting up the lore, the Stephen King lore and stuff. However, it did not let up with the scares. It did not let up with the murders. It did not let up with Pennywise. And one thing I love about this particular season, this particular timeline, because this happened in 1962. So you had to deal with the war that was happening. Like I said, there was an army base in Derry. You had to deal with the war, and you also had to deal with racism, like rampant racism. So you're gonna have some black characters in here who had to deal with atrocities, had to deal with racism, had to deal with their version of the KKK for this storyline. They didn't call them that; they called them something else, like the something brotherhood or something like that. It was some name of it, but pretty much that's what it was. But there are times in this show throughout at least the first three episodes where you didn't know if this person was just a racist asshole or if it was Pennywise playing to the times just to get at certain characters. Like Pennywise utilized the times, and you also get the back. I'll talk about that later. I gotta stay on point. I love that Pennywise used the times that he was in that particular decade, that particular time frame to feed on people's fears. Because remember, Pennywise, the it monster, whatever the entity, he feeds off fear. He gets you by making you afraid, and so he used the war that was going on. I think they were talking about nuclear wars. Yeah, because they were throwing those old school ads of what happens if a nuclear bomb in school. Make sure you duck your head, hide under the table, like that shit was gonna work. But I digress. We all seen those PSAs growing up. Um, with the turtle and stuff. So, you know, he utilizes that to scare some of his victims, but he also uses like the Klan, racism, everything, injustices to also poke at people's fears and get at people's fears to make them vulnerable to do what he do to feed off them. And so I do like that. I also like the Cold War. That's what it was. It was toward the end of the Cold War. Um, I'm sorry, I wrote my notes down, but then when I go back to read them, I can't even read my own handwriting. I'm sorry, y'all. So we had the Cold War and we had racism, like to deal with, like Jim Crow and them and that stuff to deal with. And so Pennywise, I love that I love how creative the writing was to use for Pennywise to shape shift into different characters, because he also shape shift different characters. He wasn't just a clown the whole time. To and that's how they got away with using Pennywise without Bill Skarsgård being in every episode. Very smart of them. Um, and I love that Bill Skarsgård is a producer on this show, so he loves this project. So he's producing, he's helping be a part of behind the scenes. He's just not gonna be in every episode. But I love how smart they utilize the character. And so there are times where a character could be talking to their best friend, someone who is helping them, but then you see that little eye movement and you're like, oh shoot, that's not the real friend. That's Pennywise disguised as the friend. Oh shoot, that's not that person's dad. That's Pennywise disguised. Oh shoot. So it was like it was great. It was great. It had little nods and hints to let you know, oh no, this ain't it. This you're in danger, child. You in danger. So um so you got different side plots. You got the children at the school who are being bullied but also hunted by Pennywise. You got the adults, the parents, and even other side characters who aren't parents of the kids, who are in an army base. They got their own plot story. Um, and then you just got the whole town of Derry in itself. The fact that the whole town itself is haunted by this monster, by this creature. And again, you get backstory of Pennywise, of the monster, or when he landed. Like you get a little backstory of when he first came, and that's why I hope they get green lit for seasons 2 and 3, because they're going to go back deeper in time in the lore of the Pennywise monster. Um, and so I love that they have flashbacks and go to backstories of when Pennywise first got into it with the Native Americans. Back way many decades before this season, and then back even before that when he first landed on planet Earth. And so and how he had to figure out, how can I make these humans fear me, because if I show them my true form, it's not gonna have the same effect. So I gotta pretend to be them. I gotta pretend to be human. I gotta pretend to be a clown in a circus. I gotta pretend to be this person's parent. I gotta pretend. So I like that you get you get to see his story of how, little hints of how he became the ruthless monster that we end up seeing in the original It series. Because by the time we get to the original story, the original novel, the It series, um, with the Losers Club that we know and love, that we grew up with, um, Pennywise is a pro at this. That's how he was able to snatch Georgie out down in the sewer, the little boy in the beginning of it. That's why he's able to take advantage and use certain parents and certain adults to fear the kids, because by that time he is a pro. So during this season, and hopefully in the previous season, the next 2 seasons where we go back even deeper in time, we're seeing Pennywise learn how to be the monster that we know him to be, that scares people. And I just really really enjoy that. So I would say, and then season 3, it just once we got the characters established in season 2, and once they let you know that, hey, you might love this character but this character might not be here tomorrow, it was on and popping by episodes 3 and 4. And I'm not going to review 3 4, but until later on, till I do the last couple of episodes. Episode 3, baby, I was exhausted. In a good way. In a good way. I'm not saying I was tired in a bad way. I was exhausted cuz man, Pennywise wouldn't let up. He was messing with everybody. He was killing everybody. He was striking fear into everybody. Like I said, there were times where characters were dealing with certain things. They were dealing with bullies at school. They were dealing with racism. And you did not know unless they made it obvious with the eye thing, the little eye twitch thing where they go inverted. Unless they did that, you would not know whether or not it was Pennywise playing with these folks or if these folks are just dealing with simple assholes in their community, because you also got to deal with that. There are some characters in this that you ain't gonna stand. That's gonna get on your nerves. There are gonna be some villains in this, some bullies in this that you're gonna be like, man, I hope Pennywise get you by the end of this season. There are gonna be some characters that you hope get their comeuppance, their downfall by the end of the season because they so fucking evil and just so low down. But there are times where you don't know if that's just them or if that's Pennywise. And I really, really love about this show. And so I highly recommend it. Welcome to Dairy. This is the first 3 episodes got me hook, line, and sinker. Then episode 4, Chef's Kiss. We'll talk about that in another episode of this podcast. But when I tell y'all that shit was great, I am I am on board with this show. And like I said, I pray HBO Max give who is the creator? Andy Buscemi. Andy Buscemi and Barbara Buscemi. They are like the directors, the creator behind all this. They directed the remakes of it, the It and It Chapter 2 movies that came out. They did their damn thing. And then also directed, I mean not directed, but produced, executive produced by Bill Skarsgård as well. Um I pray that HBO Max give them all the coins because we need a season 2 and we need a season 3 like they plan, because they already got the plans, the scripts, everything ready. They just got to get the money, the funding, and the okay with HBO. But when I tell you, oh my gosh, I hope y'all didn't hear that. The owl must be right by the window because it just screeched. We as you better run, better run. Oh wow, that is crazy. I never heard that owl. The windows might be open. That's probably why I never heard that owl so close before. Oh my gosh, that scared the mess out of me. Okay, so it's gonna be 8 episodes this season. So I'm only doing the first 3. Episode 4 just dropped. So right now, as of right now, episode 4 just dropped, and I think they drop every Sunday night. Go ahead and binge watch the first 4. Go ahead and binge watch the first 4 because I will be doing the rest of the season once this season is over. There's going to be episode 4, episode 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the season, according to them, according to the schedule, the season ends on December 14th. So I won't be talking about Welcome to Dairy until after that. So please, I recommend go watch it. First of all, we need you to go watch it. We need our eyes on it because we want them to renew for season 2. We got to. We got to get them eyes. We got to let HBO Max know that people are watching this show. And 2, it's just so good. It's so great television. It's amazing television. The writers, the producers, the actors, the acting. Y'all know kid actors can either make or break a show or a movie. They either gonna get on your nerves or they're gonna make you feel sorry for them to the point to where you're rooting for them to win. Everybody in this, and a lot of these actors on this show, I haven't even heard of till this show. I don't know. They probably acted in so many other things. There's only like 3 faces that are familiar to me. Only 3 faces in this. No, 4. I take that back. 4 faces in this show that are familiar to me that I know I've seen in other things like TV shows and movies. But everybody else, I've never heard or seen their faces until this show. And they all brought their A game. They are amazing. The acting is amazing. So good. So amazing. Please go watch it. Go watch it because I will review the last couple of episodes, 4 through 8, after the finale on December 14th. So, because that's the schedule of when they premiere. And again, they premiere every Sunday night. So on HBO Max. So please go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it. I highly recommend it. So far, episodes 1 through 3 is a 10 out of 10 for me. If I could rate it, now I'm not gonna say the whole show is a 10 out of 10 because we ain't seen the rest of the season, but episodes 1 through 3, actually, episodes 1 through 4, 10 out of 10. It's amazing. Off to a great start. I have a lot of faith in this show, and I hope they continue to give us more seasons. It's amazing. I think Stephen King would be proud. It's kind of hard to tell because Stephen King hates certain adaptations of his works, but love other adaptations of his work. And I'm not on Twitter to see if he loves it or not because I let go of Twitter after Elon Musk. So yeah, so but that's usually where you can find Stephen King's opinions on things. And so usually when he doesn't like something, he lets you know. The man is still alive and he lets you know if he don't like stuff. Like he hates The Shining. He hates The Shining. But he actually liked what they did with Doctor Sleep. So but I would think if I was the writer of this series, I think they did a great job with this as a prequel to my work. That's just me. That's just me. I'm just a big Stephen King fan, and so I like his work and even the crazy coked out stories that he don't remember writing. But I would be proud if I was Mr. Stephen King of this show. So that is it. So that's it for this episode. Again, thank y'all so much for tapping in. I hope we are having a great discussion in the pre recorded um, chats right now. I hope so. I will be in the chats talking to y'all so y'all can crack jokes. We're going to crack jokes on each other and everything like that. But replay gang, hashtag replay gang. Have you seen it? Welcome to Derry. What do you think? And for anybody, whether it's the live chat or replay gang, if you've watched any of Ryan Murphy's stuff, whether it's Pose, American Horror Story, Glee, a true crime story, the Monster series that's on Netflix with the Ed Gein and the Jeffrey Dahmer story and stuff like that, do you think, in your opinion, I could be wrong, I could be hella wrong, I'm just a black boy, a black trans boy on the internet stating my opinion on movies and TV shows and music that I like or don't like. Do you think Ryan Murphy has the potential of making a comeback, or do you think he's going to continue to feed us the same crazy bullshit and fall into the same traps that Tyler Perry and Adam Sandler and other directors who have been doing this for way too long? For way too long. Do you think he's gonna fall into that same trap and just give us nothing but shitty quality work until we say enough is enough? I want to hear your opinions. I really do want to hear y'all opinions on either topic, either thing that I talked about today. Um, Anyways, I greatly appreciate it. I love y'all. We will be back live next Saturday, 9 a.m. on Snake Cinema Podcast. I just had to go to Atlanta to pick up my nephew for Thanksgiving. If I don't hear or see y'all until next Saturday, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, because we know Thanksgiving is next week. And I hope that y'all enjoy dinner with family, with friends. I know a lot of people will celebrate Friendsgiving because we all know, hey, family can be toxic sometimes. It happens. Um, but I'm going to be enjoying Thanksgiving with my family. We'll be in Nashville. That's why we're going to Atlanta to pick up one of my nephews so everybody can be together in Nashville. And it's going to be a great time. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I am grateful and thankful for all of y'all. I'm thankful for everybody who has supported me since day one. I thank I'm thankful for the new subscribers because I've got new subscribers. I'm thankful for new listeners, new viewers. I'm thankful for everybody and everybody in between. I'm thankful for the live chatters and the replay gang. And with that, I bid y'all adieu. That's it for this episode of Snake Center Podcast. Oh, and lastly, I have to always shout out my peoples. Check out Tonight Wiz on Sophisticated Ignorance Podcast tonight. And then, of course, Father Dunn with Everyday Keepers on Sunday. It's going to be 1 p.m. Central Time, my time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then we have Fred and AJ with their Serpent podcast show right after Father Don's show on Sunday on their channel F&A Ball. So subscribe to them, follow them. And I appreciate everybody. I love y'all. And follow and then also Thursday nights, 6:30. Now, Thursday next week is Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if me and the crew are gonna podcast. If we do, that episode will be titled Friendsgiving. I have to talk to my peoples. Because I don't mind going live, even if I'm live from the house in Nashville, the Airbnb in Nashville with my folks. I don't mind cutting my phone on, going live and chatting with y'all and kicking it with y'all for like a few minutes. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But if not, if you don't see us, the Shenanigans podcast next Thursday because of the holidays, we will be back the following Thursday. But anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we are out in this gang. I love y'all. Peace.
Every episode, speaking truth, old school jams and the latest youth. We keep it real, no sugarcoat.